Good evening and welcome to the second Beyond the Front Page show for the spring 2023 semester here at Key Community College and broadcast on Spectrum, Verizon, Fios, the Auburn Regional Media Access, better known as ARMA, as well as Win 89.1, the college's radio station. I'm your host, Guy Cosentino. One of the greatest assets in Key County has, without a doubt, have to be the Y Camp, located on Sam Adams Lane on the east side of Owasco Lake. This year, the Y Camp celebrates its 100th anniversary. A camp where kids can run, they can swim, they can kayak, they can canoe, they can sail, they can play sports, make crafts, and more importantly, make lifelong friends and learn leadership skills. And one of the great things that is about Central New York is the Y Camp. And we are delighted to have in the studio. It is the third time as a charm because we've had to cancel twice because of COVID. But we are delighted to have the Y Camp's Family and Camp Director, Melissa Kanga-Kartner. We'll explain the Kanga in a second. And the Y's membership director and marketing director, Stephanie Ballas, talk about the Y Camp and your annual meeting, which is occurring next month. So, ladies, welcome. It's great to have you here and to talk about this great asset. So, I said it's on Sam Adams Lane, but not giving anything away. Where's the Y Camp? What type of property do you have? What do you have there?
So we are on Sam Adams Lane on the east side of Owasco Lake, right down, main camp is right on the lake, and we're about, I think, 11 miles, or 7.5 miles down the lake, just roughly, and we have great waterfront, hills, gullies.
And how many acres are there?
There's just about 58.
So people may remember when I was a kid, this is a long time ago, there was a Girl Scout camp, there was the Y Camp and the Boy Scout camp, or reverse, depending if you were coming from Moravia or from Auburn. Mm-hmm. So Camp Rotary closed more than a decade ago, mostly about 15 years ago. Do you have access to some of the Camp Rotary property?
Yep, we actually we bought it in 2011. And
the whole property or just a portion?
No, the whole Boy Scout property.
And so that adds to your acreage as well?
Yep.
So what type of programs do you run out of the Y Camp?
So we do lots of water activities, kayaking, canoeing, sailing, swimming. We have archery, riflery, arts and crafts, nature, team building and low ropes course, drama, dance, and then pretty much anything my counselors are strong at that want to lead, I let them take the reins and start anything they'd like.
So there's two types of camps there. So there's day camp and overnight. And I know many, many years ago, the day camp used to be, I think, at Edgewater, and the Y Camp was the Y Camp. So you have both at the site. So tell me what's the difference between day camp and overnight camp besides the obvious?
So day camp.
But what do you get out of day camp that is different than overnight camp?
I would say day camp is like a sprint and resident camp's a marathon. So day camp, you're trying to jam pack everything that you want the kids to get out of the day into, 6-7 short hours. So they get, to do all the activities, but also build in character, build friendships, and get those life skills from the counselors. And so day camp, they come Monday through Friday. They can either take the bus. We have 12 bus stops throughout the city of Auburn and Skaneateles, and or you can get dropped off right at camp. And so I start the day at 9 o'clock at Flagpole, and then jump right into the day with programs, and we do all camp events and games throughout the day too. So day camp is very jam-packed.
So on day camp, if I remember correctly, there's 3 sessions. You try to pick something like maybe sailing or swimming or arts and crafts or archery or something. And you stay with those for the week, all 3 of those. What do you do in between times other than lunch?
So then we have a cabin activity time where the kids in their cabin get to spend time with their counselors and their cabin mates and go and do some kind of activity. And then we also do a thing called Smorgasbord where the counselors come up with kind of a little bit more maybe out there, quirky, like ninja warrior training or things like that. And the kids can sign up to do different types of activities, not like archery. They might do archery or canoeing, but it's something a little bit outside the box, a little bit more campy and crazier.
And then they're dropped off roughly about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever the bus stop is. So on day camp, when does that, I know you have not put out yet when people can sign up. But in a rough idea, does day camp go all summer?
Yep. So day camp's nine weeks out of the summer. So from the week after school is out all the way until the week before Labor Day.
And you do operate on July 4th.
So this year we are not.
You're not, okay.
Yep. I've kind of experimented on doing it, not doing it, because I know some kids don't have something to do on the 4th of July, or parents still have to work depending on their job. So I wanted to give those kids still.
We get light attendance, as I remember last year.
We were about 50% of the week, and so this summer I'm gonna. And it fell on Monday last year, so I wanted to see.
So you go Monday and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And is there a target age for those who go to day camp?
Yep, so that is 6 to 13 years old.
Okay. And then overnight camp is what? What's resident camp?
So resident camp, you come on Sunday is check-in, Sunday afternoon, and they're there from Sunday at check-in until Saturday morning when parents pick them up.
So if you go on day camp, you bring your lunch, you feed everybody for overnight.
Yep, we feed all breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack for resident camp.
And on Sunday night for first-time campers, they don't get to use utensils, correct?
Well, we like to say challenge by choice, so never force anyone not to do something, but it's definitely encouraged and fun thing for kids to kind of breaks the ice a little bit. Some of the kids, it's their first time at resident camp, and they see counselors with spaghetti sauce all over their face and spaghetti hanging out of their ears.
It traditionally is spaghetti. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not T-bone steak.
No, forkless spaghetti.
Does everybody swim?
Everyone has the opportunity to swim.
Okay. And when do you see? So resident camp does not go all 9 weeks.
Nope, that's just 4 weeks out of the summer.
And what's the target age for that?
That is 8 to 17.
Okay. So you age out at 13. You're done with day camp. You're either going overnight or not.
Yep.
But you do have other options there. We'll get to those in a second. Well, might as well. What is a Leader in Training program, an LIT?
So LIT program is a 3-week program. They learn leadership skills, some childcare skills as well, but they also learn a lot of outdoor leadership skills, like how to build fires, how to make a shelter, how to canoe in a boat, a little bit more higher up than just a camper.
And those are, again, what age again?
That is 15 years old.
Okay. So what about those who are in the 14?
So it's going into, because I know there's we have some that are going, so we usually say going into 10th grade.
Okay. And then CIT is what?
That is counselor in training.
Okay. And how old are they?
They are 16.
Okay. And you also do some mini camps, am I correct?
We have in the past. We kind of had some shaky registration numbers with the mini camp, and so we won't be doing mini camp this summer, but I'd like to do it, down the road a little bit more. I think with COVID and everything, I think that was maybe why our registration numbers were low for mini camp, just they're a little bit younger kids. I don't know if parents were ready to send them, because that's an overnight as well.
Okay. And so the Y camp was established when? Obviously 1923,
1923.
But how was it established? Did anybody have any history on how you came about?
Yeah, so actually we've been doing a lot of research and have found a lot of good things
You're posting a lot. I don't have Facebook, but my wife does, and I see a lot of posts of a lot of old history. So what are you finding?
So Camp Ayahuasca property, that was, so before 1923, there was still a camping program at the Auburn Y, but they would kind of go to different sites that were kind of around New York State, and then they wanted to get a more permanent site, and then Emerson Foundation donated that land, or sold that land to the Auburn YMCA.
And so how long has the Y been in operation?
162
years.
Okay.
Yep, we celebrated our 160th birthday in, I think, 2019, end of 2019.
Okay. So Emerson's helped with the land, but it's always been located at, overnight camp's always been over at Sam Adams. And then we're talking about, I think it was Edgewater. Have you operated we kind of leery on the COVID period, but have you operated every year
Yeah, since 1923 that we've found so far that I've seen. And
So even during COVID, you were operational.
yep, we ran during COVID. We didn't run our resident program just because we weren't able to due to restrictions, but we ran our day camp all 9 weeks.
So I aged myself when I said I was an Edgewater kid. My son is a Y kid. How many? I'm assuming when you're going through all this, how many multi-generational families you've?
So many. There's grandparents, great grandparents that have done some kind of camping, whether it's at Edgewater, Willowbrook, or Camp Ayahuasca.
Do you have any idea how many people repeat in a given year?
No, that would be fun to find out, though. That's what we're, with our 100-year celebration, we are, reaching out to alumni to try to get stories and things like that. So we're trying to collect all that.
Appropriate
data.
Stories.
Yes, appropriate stories.
All right. Because it used to be those gullies were the place where you're not supposed to go.
Yep.
So if you go to camp now on your 3rd year, your 5th year, and your 10th year.
3rd year, 6th year,
6th year,
9th year, 10th year.
Okay, what happens then?
So Joe Murphy, who he was my boss when I worked at camp. I was a counselor there for 4 summers. And he started this great tradition of giving out dog tags. And he did 3 years. You've gone to camp for a couple years. You're a little bit older. You've kind of made your way into camp. 6 years, a little bit more. But your 9 year, if you started from when you were 6 years old, your 9 year should be your LIT year, and your 10 year should be your CIT year, or your junior counselor CIT year. So big years for kids in camp, especially you've worked your way up, have earned all those dog tags. And so we give those out at our closing ceremony to the kids, day camp and resident camp.
And you have a different one there.
Yeah, so because of our 100-year celebration, our annual support campaign this year is kind of centered around camp. And so our goal is we would like to send 100 kids to camp that can't afford it. And in the past, we've given out T-shirts and stuff for our annual support campaign for donating. This year, I made a 100-year dog tag, so it has our 100-year logo on it. And then anyone who attends or donates to our annual support campaign or goes to our annual meeting, which was March 21st at the Springside Inn, they will get this 100-year dog tag.
I want to talk about the annual meeting. So normally, this is the logo, by the way. Normally, you would have an annual meeting. You've done it for forever. What happens at the annual meeting? Normally.
So normally, it's an opportunity to reflect on the prior year. It is also a board meeting. And then we usually, in the past few years, we've celebrated our annual support campaign and our progress with that.
How large a board do you have?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think how many members are. 14.
Yeah, 14, okay. I think.
From a membership perspective, forget just we'll get to the numbers for the Y Camp membership. Any idea how many families you have participate?
We have about 1,600 units. So by units, that's kind of the head of household, right? So that could be a youth membership, it could be an adult membership, it could be a family. I think our numbers were right around 3,000 actual people.
And has it stayed steady? I know that January is a tough month for you because people decide to go to other membership organizations. Won't say who they are. I remember having these Chris Nucerino conversations here, and Kurt.
Sure.
Before that, I think every executive director who sat in one of those chairs has talked about these other gyms that open up just temporarily. They wipe you out temporarily, and because everybody's got a New Year's resolution that has ended by now, by the way, because we've all kept to that. So, has the Y maintain a steady 3,000 roughly family or individuals who are members?
So we're seeing growth, and we're continuing to see growth, of course, during COVID. We're still in kind of a recovery phase. I think everybody is from that time period. But we have seen growth and are continuing to see growth monthly. We're doing well this year, so we're very pleased.
And I don't want to get into the reasons why or whatnot, but you have had, obviously in January, there was a changeover. So for the longest time, the Auburn Y managed the Skinny Atlas facility and that has separated since effective January, correct?
Correct. The end of 2022.
What does that
Yes.
mean to an Auburn? We'll come back to the annual dinner meeting. What does that mean to somebody who's an Auburn member?
So an Auburn member no longer has the opportunity to use that facility. Is the bottom line.
And they're not part of the Y network. So
Correct.
if I wanted to go to the Syracuse Y, or I want to go to the Cortland Y, I'm assuming there's one in Ithaca, I can still do that. Not that you would normally see me there, but a family member might go to that.
Absolutely. We have a program that's called Nationwide Membership. And so what that is it gives all of our members the opportunity to use just about every Y across the country at no additional charge.
And has this impacted you financially?
There's challenges, of course. But, we have put a good plan together, and which, has to do with some community partnerships that we're looking to kind of strengthen and building membership. And I think we're on a good track.
And did it change any of your membership fees one way or the other because you don't have those services? So you mentioned, I want to go back for just a second. You mentioned, will you still do the buses in Skinny Atlas?
Yes, I'm actually in the process of, we're not sure if it's going to be at the Skinny Atlas Community Center or at the elementary school. So that'll be, pickup. Yep, there's still going to be a bus stop.
I say that only because this show goes into Skinny Atlas. And so people will still be able to drop their child off. And can somebody drive their child to the camp?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have a lot of parents that do that.
Okay.
Especially like first time campers that might be a little nervous to come to camp, and then the bus ride on top of it might be a little nerve wracking for them. So maybe the first couple of days they'll drive them there, and then they'll take the bus once they've made some friends and warmed up. But
parents drag racing up that hill.
Or we have a lot of kids from Moravia or kind of that other side, side of the lake that the parents will drive.
It's just easier for them.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the annual meeting.
Sure.
When is it?
It is the 21st of March.
Where is it?
At the Springside.
And how much does it cost?
It is $50.
Okay.
For dinner, and this year it's a little bit different. So we're really looking at it as a fundraiser for camp and for the support campaign. We're going to have a celebration of the camp centennial. So we look forward to sharing some great camp stories and memorabilia as part of the program. And it's also going to be in the evening.
Because normally it's been a
lunchtime meeting, right? So there'll be a cocktail hour and a dinner, and then of course board meeting, but then also camp program.
And it should say the board meeting lasts 47 seconds, depending on whoever the chair.
It's typically very brief. Yes.
So, but at that, you started to collect stuff. Are people bringing in stuff?
Yep, we've had a lot of people bring some things in. We're going to launch kind of a call to action to alumni to send in the stories, pictures, any memorabilia that they might have from their time at camp, whether it was Camp Ayahuasca, Edgewater, or Willowbrook. And we'll borrow those temporarily for the meeting.
And so for those who don't remember, where was Willowbrook?
Willowbrook was at where Martin's Point is
and
today.
And Edgewater was?
On the west side
of the lake. So, and you haven't had those properties, well, Martin's Point's been there for now 20 plus years, but you haven't had those properties for decades, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How can somebody sign up to go?
You can sign up at our membership desk, of course, but also online.
Miss Rose will take your money.
No.
Rose is retired.
Oh.
She retired yesterday.
Are you kidding me?
We'll
see her at basketball games then, I'm sure, for family members. Yeah. Okay, she's been there a long time. Yes. Okay. Yep. What are you going to do without, I feel bad now that I said that. So not that, but she was just great. So you can still pay at the desk or
online at our website. There's a link right on the front page. So it's auburnymca.org. And there's a link right online where you can reserve your spot.
And is there a capacity issue?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, we're hoping to fill the room, but the Springside can handle, I think it was upwards to 300 folks.
And is there an age cutoff? Because I know some places when they do an event, they don't want children under 18.
Nope, we haven't put an age limit. If campers would like to come with their family, we definitely want them to participate and be there to help us celebrate.
And how long do you think the event will be?
Maybe a couple hours.
Hour and a half.
Program won't be a couple hours.
Yep. No, we have the cocktail hour. Performed for a Purpose is going to be playing during the cocktail hour, and between the camp side of things and the annual meeting side, it'll probably be an hour and a half.
Okay. How much does it cost to go to day camp?
Day camp, so there's a difference between a member fee and a non-member fee. So for members, it is $285, and for non-members, it is $305.
Okay. And how about for a resident camp?
Same thing. So it's three. I'm not very good at remembering numbers here. I think $395 for member and $425 for non-member.
So does it pay to be? I should ask this of you, not to you. Is it pay to be a member just for the discounts on, depending on how long you're going to have a child go to camp in a given year? Correct.
Correct.
And you get discounts on other things
on
as
other
well.
programs. Melissa's running a youth night now on Friday evenings, which is a member-only program for kids ages 8 to 17, and discounts on all of the programs, including swim lessons and learn and play sports and just about everything that we offer in programmatically. So.
And people can go to your website and see all the programs you do,
Sure
from working out in the gym,
Yep.
or in the
Fitness
weight room,
centers.
fitness center, to going on the basketball court.
Dropping basketball at noon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what picking up too, which is great.
Yeah.
And so I know you mentioned you're going to try to fund 100. The goal is to fund 100. So that's, let me do my math right, about $30,000 you want to raise, $40,000. Let's say this. For your day camp, there is a program for families that cannot afford to send their child to camp. This has been a long-standing Y policy, correct? Nationally or locally?
Nationally.
Nationally.
Yes.
So if somebody wants to go and they can't afford it, they can talk to someone at the Y. I don't know if it's either of the two of you, your acting executive director, whoever. But there are ways to have children attend who may not necessarily think that they can. Do they have to be residents of Auburn or of Q County?
Nope. They can be from anywhere, everywhere.
And if someone is, do you do the same thing for resident, or is it just for day camp?
Nope, resident as well.
Okay. So March 1st is your goal to have up on the website when you can sign up.
Yes.
And there'll be a mad scramble of every parent trying to see if their kid's going this week or whatever. But if you sign up by April 1st, it's less expensive, correct?
Yes, there's an early bird discount of $10 per session.
And you can also come up with payment plans.
Yep, you can set up a payment plan. The only thing is when you do register, the first week is, say you're registering for all 9 weeks of day camp, it's just that first week is due up front, and then the rest can be in a payment plan after that.
Okay.
But even if you did, we do work on a case-to-case basis. Say you couldn't pay for that first initial week, that we'll work with you on a payment plan for that as well.
And is there a discount for signing up for multiple weeks?
No, we do not have that.
Okay. Do you have, I'm saying in some circumstances that is for many parents daycare for them over the year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have multiple weeks? Do many kids sign up for multiple weeks, or many families?
Some kids move right in and they're there just the same amount of time as the counselors are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want a couple of questions about the camp itself, and I want to end about nicknames and that. So what kind of accommodations are there for those who stay overnight?
So we have our cabins we have our 13 cabins. So we place the kids in the cabins based on age and gender, and we put two.
So you do separate by gender?
Yep.
Okay.
We even try to do different sides of the camp as well, so that there's a little bit of space in between them.
And what do you feed a resident camper?
All types of different things. So for breakfast, we do things like, eggs, toast, breakfast sandwiches. Lunch could be dino nuggets, French fries, salad bar. Dinner, we do Taco Tuesday is always one of my favorites. Forco spaghetti is another good one. Then we do kind of like a little bit fancier dinner of some kind of Mother Hubbard is our cook in the kitchen, and she does a great job with our dinners.
And you do have a full-time cook, and you have a full-time nurse.
Yes.
Correct?
We have two different morning shift for in the kitchen, and then the night as well. But
you have full-time.
Yep.
And so if people do the meal plan for that, if you're a day camper, can you buy a meal plan?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. But we do have, you know, in case the camper forgets a lunch or, you know, something happens.
Nobody's gonna starve.
Yep. We have food to give to them.
And when is there a number, a target number that you can't go beyond for overnight camp? Because I know sometimes you block out dates after a while.
Yes. So it depends on kind of our day camp side as well. So we can't have more than 130 kids in a week.
Day and resident?
Day and resident.
Okay. So a couple items. I went and I looked at one of your lists of what you can and cannot bring. So on your can list is at the top of the list, I think, or is it the bottom of the list, a positive attitude.
Yes. We hope you always pack that and keep it with you at all times.
And cell phones and electronics are not allowed.
Yes, not allowed.
So that means Fitbits and things like that.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
just, everybody's tuned out.
Yep, because if you lose them or something happens to them, you know, we don't want you to be upset for that, but also we want you to kind of disconnect from the electronic world and reconnect with, you know, those right there in front of you.
So a day camper can also stay overnight on a Thursday night. Do you still do that?
Yep, we offer the Thursday night sleepovers.
Is that a nominal charge for that?
Yep, that's $25.
Okay. And
that includes a dinner for Thursday night and breakfast and Friday morning.
And in that particular case, they have to be 8 or above, correct?
Nope, you can still be 6
You
and
can
do
be
the
a 6,
sleepover.
okay.
Yep.
And do you still do the Friday night for the overnight? Did you still do a campfire at the end of the night? But kids are picked up on Saturday, correct?
Yep, for a resident camp.
For resident
Yep.
camp, okay. And busing's covered by all this.
Mm-hmm.
I know as you come down the hill, there's a sign. What's the sign say?
Future leaders at work, that's it?
That sign,
Yep.
no, not the one, don't speak.
Yeah.
Or stay off grass. What's it?
Yeah.
Tell me the sign again.
Future leaders at work or at play?
At
It's
play?
At play or at work, yeah.
And that in itself is the motto for the day.
Yep.
I want to ask, we joked that your nickname is Kanga.
Yep.
So does you do not have a nickname.
I do not have one.
We're gonna get her one.
You're feeling
Work
very
on
left
that.
out there. So everyone seems to have a nickname.
Yep.
And how do you get the nicknames?
So you know, we want you to embody your camp name and pick it. So it's either,
So you get to pick it.
Yep, or maybe someone might give it to you. You know, throughout your time at camp, someone might, you know, have a nickname for you, or you know, or I want you to like it, whether someone gives it to you or you pick it. You just have to.
So what does
love it.
Kanga mean?
So growing up, when I was a kid, I loved Winnie the Pooh, and you know, still do. And so Kanga is the mom kangaroo to Baby Roo. And I'm kind of, I'm the oldest sibling in my family, as well as in my, you know, group of friends. I'm kind of the more motherly, kind of take care of everybody. And so I thought that that's a perfect fit for me.
So how long have you been with the Y program?
So I've been full-time at the Y for 4 years now. But when I was in college, I worked at Camp Ayahuasca for 4 summers as well.
And so, so you have a lot of camp counselors that come back. I know there's Mirage, Bunky Cheese is most likely over at Herman right now. I don't even know where that one came from. And there's a whole group of them. Speedy, if I don't say Speedy's name, I'm going to be in trouble when I get home. A lot of repeat employees.
Yep.
Big Red, everybody.
Yep, we already have, I think, about 70% of the staff that we had last year has already confirmed to come back this year.
And do you have other responsibilities at the Y?
Yep, so when I'm not at camp, I do family and youth programmings at the Auburn Y.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both. 30 minutes goes really fast, but this is a great program. I cannot say enough about the Y. Having gone there many, many years, and it's a family tradition in our house. We've tried to get you on here for 3 times. This has been the charm now.
Yes.
But we want to say again, annual meeting is on March 21st at the Springside. You can go on the website, sign up there, or stop by the desk. Somebody will take your check there, and it's $50 to attend, and you're going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary of the camp.
Yep.
All right. I want to thank you both, Melissa Kartner, better known as Kanga, the head of the Y Camp program, as well as their Director of Membership and Marketing, Stephanie Bales. Thank you both for being here and talking about the Y, and we look forward to having you back here.
I'd love to be back.
We will be off next week as the college has a half-week break next week in our schedule. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Dr. Adam Epler, who will be here to talk about Owasco Lake and the Watershed Management Council, which is important to the Y Camp to make sure that everybody can swim and canoe. He'll be followed by Chamber of Commerce Director Amy Fuller, who is new to that job, though she's been with the Chamber for a number of years. In the coming weeks, we're going to have Assembly Minority Leader Will Barkley will be here, as well as the new head of Cuyahoga County's Economic Development Agency. We'll have Locke Phillips, who is a director doing a film program here at the college, as well as Cuyahoga Community College President Brian Durant. I'd like to let you know that you can send us your ideas for guests or questions. You can send them at cozguytho@aol.com, or you can let us know through the college. But I'm Guy Cosentino for Cuyahoga Community College. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe out there, and remember, go attend the Y's annual meeting, or more importantly, send your kids to the Y Camp.